All right, what's up, guys?
What's up?
Feels weird doing a podcast with the two of you. So it's like we see you guys all fucking time.
Yeah, it's like, what are we going to talk about that's new?
Nothing to us, but everybody else, you get to hear about it.
Right.
So, introduce yourselves. I don't care who wants to go first.
I'm Adam. I train at the gym.
What's your last name?
Irgens. Adam Irgens.
Adam Irgens.
Irgens.
All right, you got an IG, Facebook?
Yeah, I do, but I'm not.
Want people to follow?
I mean, just my first underscore last name 123, but I'm not really super active on social media like that. So
could be worse, man. Like when I was starting to fight, that it was like kind of taboo to be super into social media. It's like you got time to post, you got time to train.
Yeah.
And looking back at it now, it's like, man, do I wish I fucking had more pictures and shit on my fights.
I just do it for.
I know you're the same.
To see the memes.
Yeah, and I
do it for the memes, bro.
Hey, I love the memes.
Who doesn't? The memes and the reels.
I think I picked it up maybe a couple years ago. Just as you're getting better, and just associating with different people in different areas.
Yeah.
It's an easy way to stay connected and to kind of keep a professional look to yourself. Yeah. And that way, when you're beefing, people aren't trying to comment, stream, and Photoshop everything you said from 10 years ago. You got the same vision.
That's a good call. Before we get too much further, introduce yourself, please, sir.
I'm Juan Jackson. IG Blau Kapow. So
you're gonna have to spell that.
BLAWKAHPOW.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm glad I heard you say it because I definitely thought it was Blackapow.
Dude, I've said that. I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna let him finish first. But
if you knew me, like that's reasonable.
I thought it was like. I thought you said it was like the Black Paw.
Yeah.
It was like
all those are reasonable.
The fuck out. It's true.
I came out with it just like as like a sound effect type thing.
Yeah.
For
boom shakalaka.
Yeah. Something like that, and that's what came up, and I was like, well, I'm just starting this social media thing, so I don't really care how it looks or whatever. I'm just giving it a test, and a couple years later, I'm like, all right, well, that's just my handle now.
Yeah.
So
just and then you can change it to your regular name if you wanted to at any point. But well, thank you guys for coming on. So both of you guys fought. What was it? The 9th. What is the date?
The 31st.
No, 31st.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking anyway, guys fought on the 31st, Tacoma Convention Center. I can't remember the name of the exact card, but it was the Muay cultural event.
Like Team USA versus Team Cambodia.
Cambodia fights. It was a good show.
It was a good show. It was the first one that we've done up here. That was professional level competition. So that was awesome and a joy to be a part of.
It was good to see a lot of the faces in the community from the Pacific Northwest. Plus they had the MDL, the Muay Thai Development League, that like right before. So it was like a
full weekend. Full weekend of
Muay Thai. Crew Patrick from the WBC was up there.
A lot of exposure, a lot of highlight, a lot of centering. I think we need more centering of Muay Thai. Well, I'm always talking about staple Muay Thai in Washington because we've got great athletes, we've got great organizations all over the state, but we just don't have a platform of catapulting our Muay Thai, Nak Muay, like we do for our boxing or for our MMA athletes. It's kind of like puts a cap to the development of our skills.
Well, if people don't know we're out here existing, it's going to be hard to get that
think they know. A lot of organizations know, but it's like how do we get your teams out here?
Yeah. Well, plus like if you're gonna fly somebody out from East Coast to West Coast, West Coast to East Coast, those tickets get expensive, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, you see for a long time, like the whole Southwest, like California, Nevada, Arizona, do so much, and then I'm hearing like a lot coming from Virginia and Florida right now. And
but then they're
East
just
Coast.
pulling. A lot of times they're just pulling there locally. They're just pulling their local athletes, but they're funding their professionals.
Right.
Right. And so, like in the Bay Area, you got CSA Gym, and they've got loads of fighters, and they have a couple different promotions that are offering them fights, holding fights in their city. I think the cultural event for us was that practice.
Yeah.
Hopefully it continues.
Yeah, I look forward
to make that like a yearly thing or something. That'd be cool.
That would be fair.
Especially something once a year, kind of like staple.
Well, yeah, especially like, you know, I haven't really been in the like Muay Thai martial arts scene very long, but it just seems like it's really hard to find something that's traditional, full, like Muay Thai versus like, you know, K1 or kickboxing.
Or a show that's dedicated to a true Muay Thai show. Yeah. Well, even being put on in that fashion, because there are a couple like Brooke just put on like full Muay Thai shows and stuff like that, but to the scale that it was done, like that adds a level of legitimacy to the Pacific Northwest. So shout out to Cruz Rob for putting that on, man.
Yeah,
everybody else involved,
running around grinding.
And he's been wanting to do it for a while.
Yeah.
And we got pros that are like, I'm dying to do a show. And so he was enthused about it, and he spoke to me and was enthused about bringing it back on a consistent basis.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So
that'd be cool. And we gotta, you know, our teams, we're up and coming quick. I love, like, we had a little bit of a lull there, but like your fight was dominant. You got to showcase some hands, you know, but you know,
first fight,
debut fight. 1 or 2 smokers, I cannot remember.
It was 2. I don't really count the first one because it was kind of just like, I didn't really count the first one.
It's still a smoker.
Yeah,
but you don't get to not count, or we don't get to not count.
Right. I know. I still tell people like I've done 2, but I mean.
Well, no, that was the one at Hammerhead,
what was the considerations for that first one?
The first one, I just felt like it was kind of a mismatch. You know what I mean? Like, it just seemed like the dude that I went with was very new. I mean, I'm saying very new compared to like my experience, even though I haven't really been doing it for very long. So a lot of it was just him. I don't know. It just felt like he was running away from me. Okay. So neither really one of us got to really showcase anything. So
I have go ahead.
I say a lot of times it'll be like that.
Thank you. Yes.
They're smokers.
That's right. And the very first event for probably both you guys. It's like a roll of the dice.
Rough bandage exhibition matches. Yeah. It's just kind of like, I'm putting my toe in the pool. I don't even want to get wet. You know, this ain't for me.
Right.
Right. So dealing with smokers, they'll be like that.
That's why I liked the Joey Rules smoker a lot better, because it was more, you could just tell it was treated more seriously, right?
Yeah.
Versus
like a West Coast first. Then I can't remember the order.
I did West Coast first, and then because how the first one went, I was like, I think the Joey Rules was like 2 weeks later.
Yes,
I was like, hey, can I just do the Joey Rules?
Yeah,
and then you had a tough,
because for some reason in my brain, I was thinking about because he was from Ivan Salivari's, and I was like, the second one? That Joey at Hammerhead MMA, Joey Gill's card or Smoker card. I like that because he treats it like a real fight. He's like, I want you guys to go at it, and you guys did, and you were able to showcase a lot, and that guy still wasn't at the level. So your level of preparation is going to go a long way in that, because not saying that theirs isn't or anybody else isn't, but we treat you guys as like fighters right off the bat. We were talking about jumping right into sparring, like you sink or swim in a certain degree, you know, with tutelage. Hopefully,
with mentorship.
But you always got to get that little taste. And like Juan said, like sometimes you get in there, like you'll sit there, feel fine in sparring. You're in gym class hero, and then you'll go fucking fight and get in there, and you're nervous, and you're like not sure about this guy. And here's what I used to experience when I would go to my first 2 smokers, maybe first couple fights, even first fight or 2. I would go there, and I had this idea that every single fucking person in this show is better than me. So I'm like the worst fighter, and I'm like shying down from it, like looking like everybody, like a little bit of intimidation, you know.
I think,
but having to overcome that, still go through it, still fight through that, find my strength in the nerves, and then now be able to relay that to you guys, you know. But, I'm sorry.
That's dope, but I feel like some people go through that, and then some people are the complete opposite.
Oh yeah,
when I had my first smoker.
I'm not talking about when I was in the fight. I'm talking about in the back room when I'm seeing all the
like
in there, I'm like, let's fucking go.
In my smoker, I was chill. I wanted to fight. Yeah. But I was, you know, calming my nerves. And I told you, I said, hey, I just want to work. You know? And he was like, no, I think I want to bang.
Oh God.
And I was like,
yeah.
And, you know, and this is my first smoker. I didn't start training till I was already an adult anyway, so I think I had like maybe 3 months of training. And he came out guns blazing, and he got put down.
Was this at West Coast too?
Yeah.
We didn't know any other smokers back in the day.
Yeah. I had my first 2.
Do you remember this guy's name by chance?
No.
Okay.
I ain't never seen him again.
That happens.
We
got a couple of those too.
There's 2 people that I had competitions with, and I never saw them again.
Okay.
Maybe they moved. Maybe they moved.
Yeah.
Or maybe they hung it up.
Maybe there's a reason why, you know, incentive to move.
Maybe they hung it up.
You want to hear something funny about that incentive to move? So you know Crew Jones and his knee. So have you seen the video?
Of him messing his knee up? Yeah. No, I haven't.
Okay. So it's not for the squeamish. There's a guy named Justin Fowler at Cage Quest at Clover Park or Bates or one of the colleges or over here in Lakewood. And Crew Jones, it was MMA fight, his only MMA fight. Man, that motherfucker, imagine him in fight camp. And I'm fucking getting pieced in the whole time. Anyway, it's an MMA fight though. So Justin picks him up and Crew Jones is kind of like flailing his legs a little bit and gets slammed. And his knee gets bent behind him. It gets dislocated. Torn MCL, ACL, patella tendon, the whole 9. Meniscus.
His knee blew up.
His knee blew up. Gets to the back. Doctors have to rush him in because they find that he's got a pinched femoral artery. Blah, blah, blah. About to lose his leg. Whatever. They get it. He's fine. He's not fine now. He's recovered, and that guy's drive is insane. Like, there's no... Yeah. That's why he's recovered to a degree. But, back to Justin Fowler. I was fucking hurt. You broke my fucking mentor. You fucking hurt. Like, I'm fucking pissed. So, guess who I get matched up for Absolute Chaos 2? Justin Fowler. So, I'm like, oh, yeah. Motherfucker. I was like, I'm going to kill somebody in the ring. I'm gonna fucking like blast his head. If his head doesn't explode from the head kick, it's going into the crowd. Like so blah blah blah. He pulls out. Long story short, fucking end up fighting another guy. During the fight camp, this is Eddie Blackburn. He was just on at his garage. After stairs, I go over there, and Justin's, I think, one of his guys at the time. Really good wrestler, not good with stand-up, necessarily. So it was right for him to pull out, so we spar a little bit. Then, like a half a round, I'm like bleeding a little bit out of the face. Not bad, I'm not sparring him hard. I'm not like that, we're not matched anymore.
Some nose touches.
And stuff.
Blood, you know.
Yeah, sometimes you just get touched right.
And I
touch
was...
their nose right.
I was in that beginner stage where I'm hitting hard and fast rather than like just playful touching.
Control.
You know what I mean? Like, well, still developing control.
Right.
And so they're doing MMA rounds and he would fucking tackle me. So like he would get me every time, but I'm like, just based off that, I'm like, ooh, this would have been a bad mismatch. It like that head exploding thing might have happened. So, and I was hot, dude. It was like, you fucking broke my crew. You know how Crew Jones is, like, he's all heart. He fucking loves everybody.
Yeah, we all got a spot in our hearts for Crew Jones.
Yeah, I talk about him every single fucking spot. But I was like, I'm gonna fucking break this guy. Like, first time I was going to a dark place and I was okay with it. Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm going Mike Tyson. I'm gonna fucking really pull out. But I don't know why I got on that tangent, but
I think you
just trying to like battling like your nerves and stuff leading into a fight, and kind of like the mental state you have going into a fight and stuff like that, and how it can kind of make or break you in certain ways. Right. But my the last one, I was nervous as fuck.
Rightfully so. Rightfully, it's your first fight. It's your first fight. Rightfully so. Nervous. But you handled yourself well, and you fought well.
I mean, fought well is understatement. Got second round TKO. Dropped him twice in the first round. Dropped him again. I don't know how long the second round was. It wasn't long.
It was like 17 seconds.
We got to get in there and coach you once for 1 minute. You know what I mean? Like that's a good good score. Now remember, high level show, high level performance. High level target now.
And this is why I was telling Mel, I said that was your first fight. And you fought somebody with experience.
And Daniel Bergkamp.
And like they was hyping him up. And you put him down. So now everybody, not necessarily saying that everybody after him is going to be good, but everybody after him is going to know that you can fight.
Yeah. And that is going to be a recording of you coming at people like that. So now you just got to start adding to that bag of tricks. Keep developing, keep polishing. Plus, remember, like I said, Daniel Bergkamp's a good school. But hey, guess what? We're a pretty good school.
We're pretty good school.
So we did have a bit of a gap for a while of like our higher level students towards entry level students, but man, are they fucking chomping at the bit. They're getting higher level quick. We're gonna have a lot of people coming up soon.
Yeah, and whenever people do come into our space, they don't say beginner for very long. No,
they either quit like a lot of people do, or they hit that next level and find out that this is what they want, or how. For now, there are people that burn hot and bright and burn out quick.
Yeah,
I think it's just because when I first started, it was because I didn't want to get beat up anymore.
What?
So I was like, okay, well, I gotta
stop. Trust me, I had that.
Yeah.
I had a.
So
you remember the whole class?
Either. I do not like
Jimmy and Garrett and Sergio and then you, because we started September 2011. I've got pictures. September 2011. You and two socks.
That was my first day.
I know, but you came for a couple weeks and got deployed, right?
Yeah. I think I made done 1 or 2 classes, and then I got deployed for a year.
I swear I thought it was more than that. I swear it was like a couple weeks.
And then
you came back I maybe for a break, and you looked like you'd have been training or something. Because
after my deployment.
No, you were still on deployment, I think, but I think you came back for something.
You get a break.
That's what I mean. I think you came back on one of those and we sparred one night. I'm like, damn, this dude's this. I'm fucking consistently training fight camp. And I'm like, this dude's fucking tough. I can't. And you're long. And I'm like, this motherfucker.
I'm a soldier. I'm a soldier too. So I can't say that because soldiers come through all the time.
But that's where I say even though you may not consider that your start date, in my brain that's where it is, because that's where I started and was dedicated right off the fucking bat. So my fight career happened when you were mostly in deployment, and when you got back, that's when you were starting to take off, and I was on the downswing. Or to a degree. I know I still had fights, and then a bunch of fight camps fall through, but you know how that goes.
Yeah, sometimes the waves come. Sometimes the waves come.
Remember how many fight camps Darren's would fucking drop out? It's left and right.
Yeah. Well, and I know we don't really, we kind of shame dropping out a little bit,
Kind of should.
But at the same time, if one of our guys does drop out, it's for a legitimate reason.
Well, and if we didn't,
not just because they're afraid,
they would just be oh, it's okay because there's no shame in it.
Yeah.
No, there is some shame. There's a whole team to let down.
Maybe shame is a little bit of a shadow word.
Nah, it's okay.
Accountable.
We hold them accountable.
Yeah, we hold people accountable because if you say something, we want you to train for it.
But I think I think shame's not a bad word because you should feel if it's for a reason that's not legitimate. For the dedication that your team has to you, you should feel ashamed of yourself too.
And the accountability your gym puts in you.
Right. Because
training
we're going to be there every fucking day, whether you are or not.
Training ain't an individual activity.
Yeah.
You know, training is a team. It's a team function.
I always say it takes a village, man.
Yeah, for anything. You know. When I came back from deployment, it's kind of how I felt that I started training, and that was like December 12, 2012.
I was gonna say it was like right around 2013. I thought.
Yeah. And I trained for 3 months, and then I had my first smoker, and I was like,
so I was just about to hit 2 years then. Well, April 13 would be 2 years. Mm-hmm. So I'd had, I don't know, like 6 or 8 fights at that point. Or like, no, I would say 6 or 8 events, because then I had like 2 smokers at that point, 2 or 3. I did 1 Rob smoker and 2 West Coast. And then, but back then it's all kickboxing.
Yeah. And we
not even modified Muay Thai. It's like K1 style. It's like just knees.
Those suck.
You know? That's why it took so long to get elevated, and for me to elevate my knee and clinch and elbow game, because it's not applicable to my fights.
Yeah.
And Crew Jones would be like,
and if you're in competition mode, you're always not training those techniques.
That's why I never got good at the MMA side. And first intent was to start doing MMA, because like Taki was doing, Bo was doing, everybody was doing it, Jimmy, Gary, Sergio.
All the OGs.
All the OGs. And Sean, the old owner, was like, I want you to be blue belt, which is roughly 2 years. So Crew Jones was like, I'll just get your kickboxing fights right up to then. I wasn't going to go train jits while I've got a fight in 4 weeks. You know what I mean? I'm in fight camp. Like everything's going into that fight camp. Like that fight, that goal. And I would try to get back over there and go over there for like a couple days or whatever. And then Crew Jones was like, I got you another fight. You know, a week out of fight camp, 2 weeks out of fight camp. I got you another one. So I'm like, yeah, all right, let's do it. So I would let him kind of guide me. I'd just be like, I trust you fully, and you get me the fights. Like I always talk about, my first fight was Miles Coble. It's his 10th fight. But it wasn't a mismatch. It was like very evenly skill-wise match. And we had just watched Bo beat him in MMA, and we had a war for our first fight. It was like yours, but nobody went down. Yeah, so he kicked the fuck out of my leg. It's the one where I talk about I got kicked like 20 times in the leg.
Oh, okay.
Looked like Uriah Faber that one time. Leg was just huge.
Everybody's got to learn that blocking lesson.
Yeah, my next fight, I was checking and low kicking. 1, 2, 3, low kick.
Outstanding.
Fucking, oh yeah. Fast adjustment. I wasn't playing that shit.
Yeah, I think as an amateur, my only loss came from not blocking leg kicks.
Oof.
Yeah.
And the effect it takes on the fight.
Oh yeah, the second round, I could hardly stand up, and he was mixing me up. He was mixing me up on the cage, and then the bell rang. I said, "Oh, I was saved." And then round 3 came.
Yep. You're like, "Oh fuck, I really can't move."
He did a little shove, bop, and low kick, and I just went to my knees, couldn't get back up.
Yep.
And I was like, "Oh, this is what the shame of a loss feels like."
Think about like if you get cracked on the chin and go out. I don't think.
It's like taking a body shot. It's like taking a body shot.
Well, it's just your conscious either goes away, and it's obviously you hit the off button, versus something that's like my body has been so damaged, my will and spirit cannot continue my going
your body
forward.
just stops working no matter.
Yeah, your will doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Right. Fuck. Versus like if you get knocked out, it's just
I'm disabled.
I am disabled.
Hated that feeling. Mine came in the 3rd round when I took all those kicks, and so I don't think it was close, and the judges didn't either. But the announcer, they were taking forever to make the call. So I remember it vividly, because I'm like, I can't fucking stand on this leg, can't put pressure. And they're like, in the event of a draw, I'm like, fuck. It's like, we will go to a 4th round decision. And I'm like, there's no way. It was my first fight, never fought shin guards. So there's no shin guard padding. It's all bone. And I didn't know how to check. I didn't know how to absorb leg kicks like that. I teach so much about how to absorb. Man, I'm just like in agony, like It's like, there's no way I could do a fourth round. There's no way. Especially if he goes to the leg again. I'm like, I'm fucked. Because, again, that's where, like, you come back out and you're like, that next round after a fucked up leg kick round. Right. It's not new that round. The next one.
Especially because at that point, like, your adrenaline and everything is already done. It's gone. Yeah. You're like, okay, it's over now.
No, for me, I sat down and I was like, oh, I gotta get back up. And I was able to get back up. And I was like, hell yeah, I can still fight. And then a tap. And I was like, oh, it don't work no more. You know?
Oh, God.
And in your fight, you guys didn't really kick at all.
Too much of a monster with the hands.
You didn't really kick at all.
I probably threw like 1 or 2 kicks, and then.
But you had that guy on his back.
Well, it's just I didn't really want to play like a distance management game with him after the first round. I was like, he's already rocked from 2.
Yeah, he was trying he was trying to maintain distance.
Right, and so I was like, I'm not even gonna check. I'm just gonna Dutch block and then just go. And so as soon as I would Dutch block, I'd go and I'd try and get him with the hands, and I ended up getting him because I didn't want to playing a distance game and trying to leg kick him and all that stuff. It would be to his advantage.
Well, and you were already dominating in that style. Why
tone it
fucking works? Do it again.
Yeah.
That's why. So here's another thing. What I say is, the adaptation to a high-level fight right off the bat and performing really well is you're hearing us call from the corner really well. Like, I remember calling for the 2-5, and then you're like, I heard you calling for the 2-5. I was like, yes, because that 5 was that, and you got him with like a 6 at one point, like a 1-6.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
Snapper.
Man.
Yeah.
And bopping the head up, nobody wants that, especially in a fight, and you're like, tap, 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 tap. I was like, shit, I need to regroup fast. And if you're still taking head contact, there's no regrouping.
Right.
So that pressure really did it.
And you held your composure after the fight too. So after you knock him down, it wasn't all wild and crazy. I can't stand that. So it just shows that you've been training, and you done hit somebody before. So
I will say, you're kind of a stoic fighter to a degree, because like you said, you were nervous. I could tell you were nervous, but not much. But then when you hit the pads and stuff, you kind of have this same kind of face, same kind of demeanor going about it. So it didn't show to me that much.
Yeah, no, up until I got hit in the face the first time, because I vividly remember he hit me in the face first. and up until that, I was like, fuck, I don't even want to be here right now.
How's it going?
I swear, everybody has that.
How are you supposed to be here?
I had that one time in the back room starting to kick the pads, and they had me. It was like how they had you guys. It was like one was blue corner, one was red corner. They had me, for whatever reason, warming up in the opposite corner. I was like red corner, but I was warming up in the blue corners area. For what? Because I think the rest of their team they had multiple fighters, and like he was the only one in the opposite corner. Anyway, it was a Chris Hartman fight. And it was at the Fisher Pavilion in Seattle. I'm in the back starting to kick the pads. I'm like, ooh, kicks are fucking feeling solid. Crack, fucking whap. So I'm like, Crew Jones is just holding a lot of kicks all of a sudden, like body kicks. And I'm letting them go. And they're fucking feeling good. And I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do this. So fuck, I don't even want to go in there right now. And I noticed like a bunch of people, eyes aren't on you because you're warming up for a fight. And they're kind of watching. But that shit made me nervous as fuck. Like fucking. And then by the time I got in there. No, but it's the same. So mine was the opposite. I got cracked around for the first round and then went to the leg kicks for the second couple of rounds. I don't think he got me again in the second or third round. But it was enough to really do enough damage to sway things. But, man, I remember until that point, I'm like, I don't want to be here. And then mid-round, like, he got me enough point to... I got kneed in the belly, went down, saved by the bell kind of thing. Got up. Crew Jones looked over at him. He's like, did his thing, conscious. But as soon as I stood up, the legs were a little wobbly. And so I heard the crowd, it was like, ding. As soon as I stood up, the crowd's like, ooh, because my legs were wobbling. And I was like, fuck. So I go over and I sit down. And the doctor comes over, he's like, "You're all right, you know where you're at?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm here with Crew Jones, fuck him in my corner." I was all excited. She's like, okay. So I came right out of it, but that first round, I was damaged for sure. It took a lot. And you remember Chris? He was dropping fools with hands. He's a good dude. A lot of people do not like him, but that's okay. A lot of people do.
I never knew him.
I didn't dislike him. I got to chop it up with him before and after our fight. He was always chill with me. He's always been chill with me.
I saw him. I know he had some social media stuff. He fought Mark Whitty, and they had a good battle.
Did that? Couldn't remember who won that one.
Mark won. I believe Mark won, and then because he had the title.
And I remember Chris won a title at one point. I just don't remember, or maybe a couple. But
yeah, he had a title, and then I came back.
Circuit though.
Yeah. I came back, and then I fought Mark.
I was gonna say, you beat Mark for the title.
R.I.P. Mark.
I love Mark. He was the nicest guy, dude. I didn't even know him at a show, but I was like, I think that's Mark.
He trained with us.
And he came right up. He's like, "What's up, man?"
He trained with us for a while.
Did he? Just briefly though.
I think after maybe 6 months, he came to train with the team.
Okay.
Which was good. It's some exposure, some high competition level, and then he had to take a break.
I remember. Yeah. I remember that was right around the time when I had to take a specific break as well.
Yeah.
Similar stuff. But R.I.P. Mark, man. He's a good dude. Good dude.
Yeah, real good.
Yeah. That was a tough circuit back in the day, though. Like the one that you were going through. I know you were kind of like top dog.
Because they were all pro level competitors.
We just didn't have a pro scene out here. So we're all just grinding
They're
that
all
AMs.
pro level competitors.
Even now, it's all just graduated to the pro AMs, which is like the War and the shout out to like War and Koga and all. Koga's been resharing shit. Love him.
Yeah. And Jason Swan, he's the one who beat me in the amateurs, my first fight. And then he was about to move pro. I came back from another deployment. And I was like, yo, I'm about ready too. And so we had our rematch. And he was like, all right, after this, I'm going pro. And then I got the victory on that. And I was like, well, yeah, there's my sign. Let's get out of here.
Yep.
Let's move up. So,
and what year did you go? What year was that? And what year did you go pro?
Oh, man.
It's like 18, 17?
Yeah, 18 or 19.
19.
How many fights did you have before you went pro?
I think 18.
Was it that many? Crew Jones was sitting there. I was on the phone sitting right here with him, and we were chopping up how many fights all of us had. It was 160 or 180 between the four of us.
Yeah, I think I had 18, and my
you were 30 or 30 and some. You had 30 fights, right?
No,
total.
Currently, I'm up in 30 or 40.
Yeah, somewhere up there. Yeah.
But my
the AMs.
In the amateur, it was my second fight that that I lost. And so
early on in the AM career,
16 fights later, I finally got my dub back. And then I got the boxing that I've got maybe I think 12 boxing fights and 8 Muay Thai fights.
Muay Thai.
Yeah. So it's just at some point you just got to keep being active.
And to your point, coming up in that circuit, like I said earlier, Crew Jones would have us stay ready, so you have to get ready because fights would drop, and then fight opportunities would pop up. Because you look at the board.
Situation.
Yeah. So exactly. So you didn't take much damage on the West Coast when you're able to jump into the hammerhead. That's if you stay ready like that, don't fall off. You're gonna have a fast up and coming career. Something that you're gonna be able to push hard, and people are gonna want you on their shows, but you want to be responsible.
Yeah, especially if you have a gym that's got multiple competitors actively competing. So if my teammates are competing, I'm damn near in training camp too.
Yeah.
So they in training camp. If I want to be good, whatever they doing, this how I launched myself from being amateur mindset to professional mindset is because I had Sam Paulton. He was there at the fights at the cultural center.
It was good to see him.
It was good to see him. I had John Prince Albert. He was pro in the UFC. We had Taki, who was a local phenom. Bo, Sergio was pro level. He was just waiting on his card to come. And
Jimmy.
Keep
going down.
High level Emmys. Jimmy got injured, so he kind of fell off. Garrett moved away, and but I was like, "Hey, your pros are training twice a day." I'm weekends. I'm on break. I just got out the military. I'm like, shit, I'm 2 a day.
That's how I started. Was the 2 a days.
And then
right away, he's like, "Nope." We did the morning circuits and then class at night. 2 a day.
And I think gyms these days, they get so in this kind of like, I don't want to say coddling, but babying members or competitors. When I first started training, Irgens, he wouldn't tell me nothing. He would just be like, "Yo, whatever they doing, that's what you could do."
We were a fucking hardcore fight team. We were
And I was like, all right, well,
we had a couple hobbyists, but they were high level.
kicks. I'm doing 500 kicks.
Yep.
The
500
pros
kicks was
are
the
running
standard.
before training. I'm running for training. It's like, fuck, I don't want to be here.
Man, and then
But after a certain amount of time,
so hard.
I had 2 exhibition matches and damn near knocked both of them out. And was knocking fools out in my amateur fights, and I was like, all right, well, cool, something's working. And then I went to Thailand.
Yep, I remember this.
And I was like, I came back, and I was like, oh,
Got the sauce.
I'm mean with it.
When you went to Thailand the first time, that was at Chok Chai, right?
Yeah, I went to.
I still have the shorts that you brought back for me.
Yeah, that was an experience, and I always tell people, if you ever get the chance to travel abroad and train abroad, there's a whole community of people that are already there doing it.
And you don't need to speak the language. You speak Muay Thai.
They just gonna show you love.
Yeah, and you speak Muay Thai.
Yeah.
You speak with your eyes and body. Like when I went to, because I went to Amsterdam and I trained at fucking Skarbowski in Paris. It's only for like a couple of days. I'm not trying to be like,
a couple of days is exposure.
Exactly, but at the same time, they weren't speaking English.
That's right. Yeah, because it's foreign.
They're like,
you're a foreigner.
Like I can't speak French. Can't do a good fucking thing. Because you're in Germany for a long time. But like, he's like, it's like kick, like does that. So I'm like, I throw a kick and he catches. He's like, blah, blah, blah. He's like, no pain. Like, just sit there and then tell me. And then I kick again, and then that's where I got the video of where I did the thing to XJ, where I got locked up, because I always do that same thing. Like, you actually used to give me that all the time. Yeah, catch and lock up the thing, the ankle, and just take him down. He just kind of did that with me, and he's like, oh, good kid, But I'm like, I'm gonna bring that one back and a few other things, but it's all. We do this so much, but same in Amsterdam, some Dutch kickboxing, but they're speaking Dutch or something. I'm pretty sure it was Dutch, but there's a lot of Turkish people.
Body language transfers.
But yeah, and he was like boom, boom, boom. I'm like, okay, it's like cross hook, cross kick, kick. Got it.
even when I'm teaching now, I find it hilarious. Is that when I'm telling I was like, bing, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Bow, boom, boom.
You're speaking in cadence.
Yeah. Speaking in cadence. That's definitely the soldier in me. Yeah. And it translates.
Yes.
So, I like that. That's awesome.
It also helps too, because I think a lot of people they need to see it and they need to just do it. If you try and just break everything down and be like, oh, well, you need to put your foot at 45-degree angle and make sure you're.
What you're describing is my class. I know it's okay.
Right, which some people
really
learn like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think for the majority of people, they just need the reps first.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's a time and a place.
Right.
Yeah. There's a time
there's a mix
for broken down fundamentals, and there's a time for drilling and repetition. They can't you can't get to drilling and repetition if you are stuck on fundamental learning mode.
Right.
And that's why coaches or athletes and coaches, it's imperative that you spend time with slowed down understanding of techniques. For athletes, that's, you know, supporting your coaches and doing private lessons. For coaches, it's making yourself available for those people who are desiring to learn more, right? You can't do it with everybody, but if you have students that are desiring for more, you'll know what the hungry people look like, what they feel like, you know, and those are the ones that you can invest in. Type stuff.
Yeah. See, well, and kind of to both of your guys' points is they all come together, because like some athletes are going to be naturally talented. They can blow right through that kind of stuff. Some people, they cannot get the proper footwork to save their life, and they never will. And to go in and try to high level spar or try to be in the high level athlete to not have a fucking coordination about
my foot isn't 3 inches to the left and 45 degrees angles with the azimuth of.
Yeah, and I'm fucking Mr. like break this shit down. Like I don't care, because like I don't look at my class, the fundamentals portion, as the athletes class. It's the let's make sure this and this and this and this in fucking order. Marching drills, you know what I mean? Think about mechanics. You're not gonna be able to just wing this shit together because you're gonna miss something. You need to make sure the proper order is done. And each, you know, to each their own. Like you can breeze right through it. Jagger can breeze right through it. But you see like high level talent. I love Jagger, but he cheats all the time. Straight leg and flat footed.
And I think that's what we're kind of on the same page.
Straight leg, flat footed.
Yeah.
Right. But he hits hard, so he could cheat a certain little bit. Yeah. And so to where like you might really need fundamentals, but you might not want fundamentals.
Right.
And that's the discipline of an athlete.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and that's why I think our school and our style of teaching is very much similar on the same line, where we value fundamentals, right, and we value mechanics of technique. Now, some people can receive that at a fast, high level, and some people have to receive it at a low, slow. Low, slow, right? You got the grill, and then you got the crock pot. You know, that's funny. And so
take note, if you are a crock pot learner, if it's okay, just keep the crock pot on. Just keep going. Definitely. If you're a fast burner, don't burn yourself to a crisp till you're nothing left.
Right. Know when to come off the heat. Love it. Yeah.
Fucking right.
Write that down.
Write that shit down. We got it on video. I like that because I think that our school, like you said, it's not just fundamentals. We have every aspect that I think we need. We have high level sparring. We condition the beginners the way, like how you have been. You know, like, all right, we're just touch, just play. Design a combo, beat them with footwork, blah, blah, blah. My class doing the fundamentals. Master Sauhin of like putting the combos together and high level drilling, just drill. Like we're not talking about like, this ain't fundamentals class. You should know how to step already kind of thing.
Yeah.
All of the coaches are available for private lessons. All you have to do is reach out. I love when you guys stay late, start early, get your working on your own. Juan said fucking pros work out 2 to 3 times a day. When I first started, just like how you started, that was the gym that we were. We were the gym that we just had a high level amateur scene in Washington. Hint, let's get that to a high level pro scene and get recognized on the national level. Another WBC and the MDL league and all these other things are really pushing. Other promotions, other podcasts are popping up. I saw Crew Brook was doing some interviews. Let's all build together, push it up so that like Adam can fucking be seen on a national level. Juan can be seen on a national level. I know you did Lion Fight, Pittsburgh?
Yeah,
Somewhere on the East Coast.
Starts with C, Connecticut.
Yeah,
I thought the Foxwoods.
C. Yeah. But like, you know what I mean? That's across the nation, and you fought in Thailand. You know, like so you have a high level exposure to where like our sport doesn't necessarily have a high level exposure in the world. Yeah. So it's not boxing. You know, everyone's like, fucking pay millions of dollars, get paid millions of dollars. Like we get paid pennies. If that.
If that.
We're basically in the hole.
I think the only big like worldwide promotion that has like traditional Muay Thai, like small glove Muay Thai and just traditional Muay Thai is One Championship.
Yeah.
And they're doing a great job at it.
Yeah.
They are doing well. But you know, they're just paying people to get knocked out. You know?
Yeah.
They're always having high level people, and that's what's gonna be always able to sell the card.
And they're supporting the fighter, which I love. You know. I know they were thinking about coming here to Washington.
Really, I did not know that.
Here, yep. Instead of staying in Denver, somewhere on the West Coast where they can intermediate.
Well, Seattle's a huge international.
Exactly, Seattle, Frisco, LA, where they can. It's less of a draw getting them all the way to the middle or all the way to the East Coast. You know, they can bump fighters from the East.
Yeah.
Right over here.
Yeah.
And it's a one-way flight. You know, type. So that would be awesome.
Especially if we could get.
And our Emerald Queen.
Well, the Emerald Queen was sick.
Emerald Queen.
But let's say like
is
Climate Pledge. Like if they were to do that, like, because I know they're trying to get Climate Pledge Arena and like a bunch of other stuff really pump up. Like that's a good venue, but because that's where UFC operated out of, right? Isn't that the? I'm not.
I don't
really follow
before
UFC as much.
Because Climate Pledge used to be called. It was
Key Arena.
Key Arena.
Yeah, it was the Sonics old fucking place, I know. But now it's just shows. But maybe Sonics.
Well, it shows, and they doing hockey there.
That's right.
They do hockey in the Storm. Yeah.
Yeah, Storm's dope too. Yeah, but no, I just mean if we had a better venue or like a slightly better venue, like I think that would definitely help. Because it's like what Mile High Stadium is the one you're talking about or whatever, right? Or I can't. Is that at Mile High Stadium? There's a fucking huge one in Denver.
There's something.
The ones that
that's where they stay in.
But you think about like they operate out of Singapore for One FC a lot. And that's like the gateway to the east and west or whatever they call that. But that's a huge city and there's a lot of money out there.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it is in the U.S. People know the UFC.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Versus like you go anywhere but the U.S. People know One FC.
Yeah.
You know.
That's a great point. When I went abroad. Every country I went to, like, oh, you're from America, and like expecting me to be like MMA, bro. I'm like, nah, I'm not. I like MMA. I'm not trying to disrespect it in any way because it takes a lot to be good at all of those fields. But I like the purist, the high level specialist kind of thing. And when I went over there, they're kickboxers. They're like, we want to be high level Dutch kickboxers. We just adapted from Japanese, like Shotokan or whatever it was.
I think the UFC would really benefit from having just like either traditional Muay Thai or like some sort of stand-up strike with a little bit of like grappling, because that's what most people like to watch is the striking. You know what I mean?
Well, and they understand it. Right. It's when I get hit in the face or you get hit in the face, somebody watching knows what's happening.
Right.
You go to the ground and the grappling. It's not that it's not entertaining. It's the people that understand it are going to be entertaining.
It's a lot smaller. Right. Like amount of people that understand grappling to the level that you can understand striking.
Well, and to understand high level grappling because those guys are. If you're in the UFC and you're good at grappling. And you're able to stay on the ground, you're probably pretty fucking high level at grappling.
Right. True.
Or you're going to get fucking manhandled right away.
Right.
Against a high level.
O'Malley.
It was something. I'm just saying. I'm not going to.
No, he just lost.
Well.
Yeah, that was
I just mean, there's.
Yeah. He got.
It happens.
Hounded. Yeah.
Win some, you lose some.
But, and I also think culturally, right? So you got. Boxing will never die in the U.S. because it's part of our culture. You know, Muay Thai is never going to die in the East because it's anchored in their culture. You know, karate, taekwondo, those are Korean and, you know, Japanese martial arts that are tied to culture. And so I think that's one of the considerations in the U.S. is that we're jumping in these in these practices, never not necessarily attaching their culture.
That's a great statement.
And so it's not as big here, right? But luckily for Muay Thai,
don't like the cultural aspect, like the music and the wire crew. Like, just get to the fighting, bro.
Yeah.
Like, get to the respect, bro.
Yeah. Well, then that's like the cultural event. I love that that's what it's called, and I love that they do play the Thai music. We're walking out with our uncles. We're sealing the ring, if not doing the white crew, Muay. Those things are, reminders of what we should be attaching to our sport and our practice, right? And that was just a good. Show. That was just a good example. Like, I am a little bitter, I'm a little bitter on it, but
I still wake up in the middle of the night shivering about yours.
It was crazy. It was crazy. And I tell people, I'm like, I've had a couple people that I trust their judgment. I'm like, take a look, and because I lost the match off a unanimous decision. And so I shared with a couple people, and I'm like, let me know what you think. And I know they're going to give me an honest opinion back. Or at least that's what I believe. And everyone has pretty much responded the same, where they're like, oh, it was a tough fight. It was a great fight. But not very many people hit me with, oh, yeah, you won that fight. Unless they were trying to be neutral or something, So I honestly can't differentiate, because I believe I won the fight. When the fight was over, I was like, yo, what is there left? Why are we here in the middle, and they gave it to the other guy, and I was like, I don't understand, so even if it's a Kumar event and they're judging, it's different.
I still had you win in the first and third. Second, so again, I'm one of the coaches on stuff.
So you're kind of impartial.
But I am fucking biased. Oh no,
I'm not
impartial. No, I'm biased. But watching the control in the clinch, shifting hit, the dominance in the clinch is what sold me on it.
Right.
In a lot of ways, the body kicks that he would throw, they landed but not super clean.
If they didn't get checked.
Right. Well, I mean, the ones that landed, they did land, but not super. Like you see, like the toes or like the end of the foot versus like a solid body kick. He did when you went for the head a couple times. A few of the lean backs, you know how they're the big show. They're looking for that level of sort of things. I would say a few of those things would sway the judges in a few degrees, but. Again, a little biased, but I had you win in the first and the third.
Yeah, the only thing I would have differentiated, because I watched it several times now, is engagement, pressure, and dominance, and also imposing of the will. Right. When I watched the fight, I do not feel an imposing will of the opponent, right?
Correct, yeah.
I feel very.
He was like relaxed and responsive,
or restrained.
He was kind of in there.
Yeah, he was fading back,
waiting for you, like waiting for the counter. Waiting, the traditional Thai style or Muay style, back foot countering.
Yeah, and even I couldn't give the second round because there was no knockdowns. Right.
I just remember a couple. That's why I saw more of the body kicks. That's all I really remember.
Yeah, there were no knockdowns, so I can't give a round based off of a knockdown. But there were many moments of physical dominance.
The dominance in the clinch is what again.
In the second round, I literally had him in a Muay Thai clinch with his arm in the air while he was getting kneed in the body.
I know, and you took his back. You displayed fucking dominance throughout the start to the end.
It don't matter how many punches you landed after that. You was in a ragdoll being kneed.
I will say though, I'm biased.
Yeah. And that's why when I say I shared it with people, it's with people who weren't there.
Right,
With
you're looking
people
for
who
like,
are
hey man, give me an honest opinion
neutral.
on this scoring.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna ask Crew Jones, you're gonna ask me, you're gonna ask any of the people that are your supporters, you're gonna get, even if they're as honest as they can possibly be, there's still the inkling of the bias.
It's just, if you like someone, it's your
your
person.
fucking people. It's like when you break up with somebody, it's like, yo, my homies support me. Like,
Right. You
what
better.
happened.
Right. You better.
My side, yeah.
You better.
You're my fucking friend. You my fucking friend, bro.
Even if I lose, you tell me on the side by myself when ain't nobody around.
Yeah. When I'm chill.
And the last thing I considered about the fight was starting of or closing engagement.
Yeah.
Right. And so there were several times where I had closed out engagements after a 3-touch response. I didn't see many opportunities where that came from my opponent. And these are responses ending with body kicks. These are responses ending in elbows with clinches. These are responses ending with head kicks. These are responses ending with sweep dumps. None of which is being done by my opponent. So I couldn't understand that part either. But it is what it is, and they came with it as a team from across the world. I gotta give him props for that. And he's not a chump, because I threw like 4 or 5 head kicks, that made contact. He had his hand up, but that don't really stop.
But still, like, he didn't even wobble. Like, he's very experienced.
You hit him
over
with
100
a
fights.
couple.
Fights he has.
Crazy knees.
Yeah.
Over 100 fights, knockouts.
I mean, and for you to do that well, and again, biased, but to do as well as you did against somebody like that, and in my opinion, again, I gave you the first and third. It sucks, but in the world's opinion, you fought up.
Yeah.
And you represented not only our team, Washington, Pacific Northwest, USA, you went out there and put on a damn good show, to the point where the controversy is like
it's a real debate,
and that's where it adds that level of legitimacy that we're looking for.
And that was I kind of came back from my ego a little bit.
I know, that's why I give you a day or two, because I know you're like chill the day of. The next day you're like, man, fuck that. And then a couple of days later you're like, all right, it just kind of is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It's settled. I've known you for a while. I'm like, I know this guy's got his patterns, like I do.
Yeah, I can't come to my common sense.
Yeah.
But I tell him, like, sometimes I tell myself, you're a professional fighter that was not born in Muay Thai. I started Muay Thai when I was 24. Already an adult competing, and I've traveled across the world, sharing and tasting different competitors and different teaching styles, and watching different fighters, being a part of different fighters' fight camps, and you go in there and people don't come out.
Yeah.
I say it all the time, like, hey. He's got 50 knockouts for a reason, right? Whenever I'm doing boxing, every time I do boxing, I'm fighting up, up. Undefeated 6-10 fights up, international, foreigner up, and competitively, right? And so I come back into thanking myself for my health, and just what saves me is the diligence of almost being a perfectionist. You see me day in, day out, like every day. Week of, where I'm at on the back. I'm running, and luckily setting that pace helps align me with people who are also looking to be on that kind of a pace.
When it sets the example.
Right. And so whenever I'm doing my running or, you know, it's weight cut time, people don't have a problem jumping in. I'm ready to die. But when I got people mobbing with me, oh, it's like work. You know, and so all those tools help me go into a fight with a higher level or a more experienced fighter and still have a competitive edge. Right, at the end of the day, I stay a dog.
Well, and I think that's kind of an attribute to the Pacific Northwest, being at a higher level than we're being showcased. Think about, like, you go up to 10 kicks. Johnson was just on.
Yeah.
And he's like, fucking Juan, go ahead. You know, you've been up there and stuff. And they're doing a lot. They're a really good team.
Yeah. And shout out to Stanley.
Yeah, shout out to Stanley and Cole and Johnson and everybody up there. Anyway, getting to, I mean, Julian trained with us for a while down at Brian Johnson. Like, there's a big crowd up here that high level that we've kind of able to, with the community, build each other up to a higher level with that competition, you know what I mean, training and competition. And I think the reason we have that level of camaraderie rather than rivalry is because the scene is so small. We all have to
depend on each other.
We have to depend on each other, not rival each other, because it's like, fuck, man, like, if I rival you, like, we might both be missing an opportunity up here, you know what I mean? We're all just trying to build, and being the fact that, like, for whatever reason, we don't get as many national and obviously international fights coming off of that. It's really important that we support each other, so at least we can get eyes on whatever. That's what I just started wanting to sit down with you guys and bullshit, but everybody's reaching out and it's like it's going up. So let's get our.
And I like it, and this is part of the component of community. You know, I'm all about community,
exactly.
You know,
especially nowadays, you know, digital world. So doing stuff like this and going out and posting about it or getting in touch with people with social media. I think that's why the cultural events like the one that just happened are such a big success. Is you see people that are big on TikTok and Instagram, like that one dude that with the dreads that you.
Matt, Koi-Fish Prophet.
Yeah. Like you see people like him, and then it's like, oh shit, like I see that dude on. Right. You know, I knew that dude before I even met him. You know what I mean? Type stuff. And I think that's why events like that are so important for getting exposure in like a world that's so ruled by social media.
Yeah. And this is personal, right? So people will see this on social media, but meet us in person. Yeah. Like, we are easily touchable.
Right, and it's like well, it also makes people feel like they kind of know you a little bit. Like, this guy's personal. Like, I feel like I can chat with him and can talk to him, and I'm not gonna have anybody on that. I mean, everybody I have on feels that way. But I like what you said. Is like, so what I always say, especially in the beginning, I'm getting comfortable doing this. I've watched myself do a bunch of these videos. I'm like, all right, I'm over the fact that I don't like listening or watching myself on camera. All those fucking things that are in the beginning, looking at the camera at times and talking, blah, blah, blah. Getting over that. But it's the last fucking thing I want to do. Like, what do I want to do? I want to spend my time in the gym. Like, we're missing class today to do this. Right? We could be at the gym improving our skill set. Now, that's where it's kind of like, yo, if we don't post on social media, if we don't let people know we're out there, people aren't gonna fucking know, because it's gonna be easy to just keep scrolling or whatever it is and find people that are, especially locally. There's a few
like when I first got back here when I first moved here from the UK and being here for the past year, I was looking for a Muay Thai gym for like weeks, like just Googling, trying to like research. I was in the depths of the internet trying to find like a gym, you know.
How did you find us?
That's what I'm wondering.
Well, because I was like, Muay Thai gyms near me, and I saw like a Yelp, like some old website review on Sri Suk Muay Thai, and then they're like, oh, this gym's good, it's very traditional, like Master Sauhan is, you know, the real deal, all that stuff. Everyone at the gym's super nice, high levels, all that stuff. And then I remember like looking, I thought it closed down because, you know, it's not called Sri Suk Muay Thai, the gym is called Battle Jiu Jitsu.
Right.
So I was like, so I looked on your guys' website and I saw it, and that was after like a week or two of me just looking, you know what I mean? So I think that
which is crazy, because there's if you know, looking for a week, that means you scan through quite a few other spots.
Yeah, I was like, fuck. I was like, I might have to go to UFC Fit.
Oh no! 9 rounds?
Something like that.
I'm just curious, like, what was your criteria specifically when you were looking? Like, you're like, I want a traditional Muay Thai gym led by like a Thai guy, or
no? I was just like,
fight gym,
Muay Thai near me.
Okay.
You know, within like something where I can learn to defend myself, because I've just been wanting to, and Muay Thai specifically because I've been wanting to train Muay Thai for a while. But, and also something that's not super, like, I guess commercialized, where I can go and, you know, pay a membership and talk to an instructor and not have to pay, like, you know, have like a gym of like 50 people and then me
and specialized attention.
Right. Versus, I know our gym has classes and stuff like that, but it's much more intimate than like a UFC Fit, where they have like, you know, kickboxing class or like cardio kickboxing, and there's like 50 people in the class, and you're not getting like a one-on-one like session or an instructor coming over and being like, hey, like, okay, your kick is okay, but maybe do this, you know, to like improve your technique, you know what I mean?
Authentic experience.
Right.
What landed you in the gym?
Oh, bro. Before we get started, I just want to say, because I got a story about that. We also offer just Muay Thai. So like from 5 to 8, 5 to 9. We offer different classes in those times, but it's all Muay Thai classes.
Right.
It's not kickboxing, boxing, MMA, Muay Thai.
Right. And
it's like we do have a split of the mat for BJJ. Those classes operate simultaneously.
But our program is a
Muay Thai program.
And that was another thing that I was noticing, is a lot of gyms like UFC Fit or like other like gyms, it's like, oh, boxing, it's kickboxing, it's MMA, it's jiu-jitsu only, like stuff like that. It's not like, you know, Muay Thai every day, all day, the whole time the gym's open.
That's what I love.
Like, Muay Thai only on Tuesdays at 7.
Yeah.
Ugh. Bro, I'm gonna get so good at Muay Thai at Tuesdays at 7.
And I even did a couple trials at the Fitness Quest across my house. They do like Muay Thai on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but it's just sparring. No one is teaching a class. You know what I mean?
Is this in UP?
It's in Puyallup.
Oh, that Fitness Quest. Okay, yes.
Right.
Yes.
So, like
it's almost like an open gym.
Yeah, it's like you go in there's a little room, and then the instructor is like, okay guys, like shadow box. Because I remember I did it one day there to see if I would like, you know, the combat sport, you know. And I remember I went there and it was just sparring. I sparred for an hour.
Sparring, not knowing what
I didn't even know how to shadow box.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like that happens to a lot of people.
And so luckily I liked it, mainly because one of the dudes that was there, I knew him in like middle school, high school, and he's been training all of his life. So he kind of like, he basically was teaching me the whole time and stuff like that.
You in.
Right. And so I had an enjoyable experience, but I could see why people that go there, like walking off the street and go in, and then they got to spar.
Yeah.
And they get laced up. They're like, you know, maybe this isn't.
Some people are made different. That's why you're still here.
You know, like I can see why some people wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, and you imagine somebody who's like just interested in seeing what this sport's possibly about, and then they sign up one day and they're like, all right, spar, and they're like, this is not what I wanted to experience. You know,
Yeah, just get beat up.
It's like fucking day one, like you're just getting lit up. So this actually goes to your question, how did I get started? I was working out at the LA Fitness in Puyallup, and these couple fighter guys, it was at 5 a.m., me and my roommate, these couple fighter guys would come in and do this fucking crazy ass pro level circuit, like Rich Franklin style, 1 minute intervals, grinding. And it was like a few months had gone by, and I'm like, I don't really want to do that. It's for, like I always grew up wanting to fight. Always wanted to watch Karate Kid and get in fucking Ninja Turtles. Hey. But I see Taki come in one day. He fucking lumped up. Like his eyes all swollen. I'm like, damn, bro, why'd you want to look like that? And inside, I'm like, I would love to fucking get myself into that, but I know the level of commitment that being a fighter takes. It's not just like something you dabble in. And I'm watching them go through it every fucking Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning. So my roommate one day was like, yo, I'm going to work out with the fighters next Wednesday. I think it was a Wednesday. And I was like, well, either I work out with them or I do my own thing and feel like a pussy. Yeah. So I was like, all right, I'm going to work out with the fighters. And I was like, holy shit, this is fucking badass. I only made it like 4 minutes into their circuit because it was different level. I'm talking about sprints with the sled, minute of deadlifts, minute of pull-ups, minute of dips. Like, if you can't do them like that, you're doing them assisted. So it's still hard as fuck. You're not getting out of your minute. You're fucking working. Still doing your minute. You're still doing your minute. So it's all right if you got to scale it up or down. But I remember just wanting to do it more and more. So I ended up every Monday and Wednesday, Friday. And so Crew Jones would be like, all right, I can kind of work with this. And Taki was there. And we had the shield, the leg kick shield. And so they're teaching me a little bit on pads and stuff like that, letting me kick the pads. I'm like, oh, this is fun, you know? So it's not just the grind, but it's like heavy bag flips and fucking all kinds of shadow box and sprawl. I could write it all out. We were training to the point where I know he's BJ Penn's old manager or whatever for a brief period when BJ Penn was climbing up. And he sends him a video of our workout. And he's like, oh, that ain't shit. Because he's already doing a fucking crazy workout. But we're doing that level of workout. Like high level pro shit. This is designed by Taki, I believe, or stolen and fucking made to work in LA Fitness. But on these battle ropes, all that shit. Anyway, I just kept going. Kept going. I remember one day I wanted to quit. And I was like, fuck, I gotta push the sled all the way down there. It was like, they're all waiting for me. It's their turn. And I was just like, do I just quit now and go and sit on the fucking couch and let them come get the sled? And I was just like, it was like a real possibility, real decision. But I was like, fuck that. I'm not. And
the option was on the table.
Yeah, it was on the menu. Yeah. And fucking, I just remember being like, nope. I'm not going back to that shit. I fucking decided to push through it, and I just kept finding these little mental barriers to break through. And every time I would come up one, I would think about that moment and just keep going. Just stay in it and keep going. Even no matter how bad it hurt, no matter how hard it was, no matter how bad I wanted to quit, I had the faith to stay in it when I didn't have the knowledge that I could do it.
That's some good mental agility.
And Crew Jones always pouring, you know how he is. He's like, oh yeah, you could do more. So then I'm going to stadium stairs. And then I'm going to class at nights. And this is before Master Salian was committed to our team. He's still over at South Sound. So Crew Jones would run the stand-up portion Monday and Wednesday. Marcelo would come down for jits Tuesday and Thursday. So it's still that tandem of Marcelo and Brian Jones fight team. And then a few months later, Master Salian, there was like a big, essentially like a design smoker, but he'd be like, a bunch of people would be there like, Juan, go with, Adam, blah blah blah, kind of how like we direct like Shark Tank
stuff.
And Master Simon showed up with Jonah, and so I was like, who the fuck is that? That kid's good.
And Jonah's sharp.
Jonah's sharp as fuck, and he was still like, I don't know, training, sparring or whatever. And they were doing the LA Fitness thing in the morning back in the day, and then Master Salhin came to our program after whatever, and Crew Jones relinquished the leadership role of that, and he was like, I will operate under Sri Suk Muay Thai from here on. And to a degree, he's still obviously Brian Jones Jr. fight team, got his logo. I need your logo. to get it printed up.
Hell yeah.
So, but that's kind of where it became. And then about 7-8 months later, he received his crew. So I did that post or whatever, was like with Master Salman or whatever. And there's a picture of there. He's in the ring at the first Absolute Chaos receiving his crew title from Master Salman. So it was like, it was watch Brian train, you remember it was 20 or 40 hours individually with Master Salman, single hours from like 4 to 5 before class would start, a couple of times a week to get his crew. And it was like 20 or 40 single hours. And he had to pay for it, all that. And pay for like the essential. I think maybe it was a sponsored thing because it was underneath. But you know how like our team being under, like certain people have to pay, crew.
Non-affiliates and stuff like that.
Well, just like how when we level up, like we have to pay for the next rank. We're like, oh, you pay the $70 for
like
for
60
yellow
or
whatever the fuck it is.
Right.
And I think sometimes that's like sponsored because by Master Salman, it's basically just like, hey, you're high level under our team. I'm not going to charge you something you may not have because of the value you provide here under me. So I know it's probably similar for you, blah, 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 for our team. But watching that whole process and become a fighter, starting like, all right, and then 5-6 weeks after I signed the first membership, did my first smoker, walked in the door, signed up with Sean Cruz. I was like, we need to get him on the fight team. So I was like, all right, cool.
Okay.
But I'll say my first class, when against a girl, bro, I was that guy. Felt like I was gonna get my ass kicked by a girl. First class, cause like Cruz Jones is running it, and he's having me hold Dutch style, like I always teach you guys, like with the gloves, and I don't know how to fucking do that. And her name is Bryn, and she's like really throwing, and I'm like. And he was like, you're fucking embarrassing me. Like, I don't know what this is. Like, I've worked with you individually on these circuits. Like, I don't know what the... And I just remember thinking, like, damn, I got paired off with a girl and she'd kick my ass for sure. It's like, humbling. Yeah. So you carry those humbling experiences with you, you'll go.
There's a lot of ladies out there that can scrap.
And even more now than back then.
Well, that's definitely, like, one of the things that I learned. And my brother and I think my brother said this to you guys, too, but... It's something we talk about is that, and what we tell people when they ask us like, oh, like, do you train or whatever, or like, how do you like it, is that once you start training, you realize that it don't matter what someone looks like. It does not matter what someone looks like.
Some of the little kids that are
some little
like
kids,
15,
or you get someone that like
Carlos.
Yeah, or someone like Dane, you know what I mean? No disrespect to Dane,
no.
right? But he doesn't look like, if I saw him in Walmart, I wouldn't think he could beat my ass.
I always tease about the Crew Jones driving his Prius.
Right, exactly.
Mike, thanks for Mike in the F Shack.
Yeah, he will put you down.
Little pudgy, bald, like little older guy. Oh my God! And you're just like, you don't know how many fucking titles this guy's got.
Right, exactly.
And Mega Man, you'll see it in his eyes. You'll see it in his eyes.
Those little fucking teeny Prius, and you just think, like, I'm driving my truck, kick this guy's ass.
I'm gonna cut him off. I wouldn't cut that guy.
You don't want that guy getting out. Beer belly a little bit, just a little bit.
Don't cut that guy.
Because that's what a lot of people will say. They'll be like, oh yeah, I want to do that so that way I can just walk into a room and know that I could beat anyone. You know, that cringy stuff.
Well, and then it's like, I like that concept of not, or having the humbleness.
Right.
You know, is one of the things that I noticed about myself, and I was able to take and be like, oh, okay, that's one of the gems I've received from training Muay Thai. Is I haven't had an altercation outside of training, because since one, I'm like, all right, well, I could really hurt somebody.
Right.
And two,
you watch the beginners come in, you watch the day ones come in.
You don't feel like you have anything to like prove.
Right.
Or you just flat, not that you feel
I can disregard things. I can totally disregard things. Like, that didn't really bug me that much.
You watch like the strongest like army dude that comes in, no disrespect to, like, I know you guys are military, but like, you know how like you get the tough guys come in like, oh, I want to kick pads, I want to bang around, and then they could be strong or whatever, and you just easily manipulate these guys, and then you watch somebody that, even if they have like a touch of training, it's like it's not going to be enough.
Right.
Yeah.
It
just isn't.
Or something that I value is when I do see those people, and then I see the tough guys and I watch them crumble.
Yo,
and then
well, they're tough for like a minute or two.
Right. And then I see the little dude and he's full of fucking heart. And I'm like, you!
The little dude.
Little dude.
I always say, I have more trouble with shorter fighters because that fucking grit and drive. And if they get in, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're tough,
Pure
like Travis
heart.
and shit. But I want to say
Pure
something to what you said is the guy that they come off egotistical and like, I want to be able to kick anybody's ass in a room. I feel like I want to have the confidence to know I can handle myself in any room.
Right.
I feel like they don't know how to frame it like that.
Well, yeah, I think
because it's a macho thing and they're talking to a legit fighter.
Yeah, it's not a capability thing.
Yeah.
It is a fearful thing.
Right, masked by masculinity or ego, whatever
Or
fucking
ego.
word you want to throw on it.
I ain't gonna use masculinity because
I hate when
masculinity is a gem we wear as men.
Yes.
So
well, and the lack of masculinity leads to
bing bong is the lack thereof.
Yeah, I just tell people that training makes you realize that, like, it makes you want to fight less. At least in my experience,
Or
you know
fight,
what I mean? Or get
fight value.
Right.
Yeah.
Get in altercations outside of training, outside of the gym. Like,
well, it becomes
less,
a non-mission.
You know what I mean?
It's like my mission
Right.
is to be here and improve. And it's like
Yeah,
so I always say like
yeah.
people think because yes we are fighters. There's martial arts approaches. There's all that in between. But I look at it as like true self-mastery because I'm not in there to get better than you or better than you. And those people, there's always a bigger fucking fish, dude. Like you're never gonna hit that cream of the crop. And if you are, you're gonna be on the massive show. You're gonna have the humility because you're going to have lost. I think about DJ Demetrius Johnson every time I think about that because like you're even at those levels you still get those losses.
Well, yeah, even
no ego. He ain't fighting people.
Even the
outside
best
of
in the world, Sanchai, Taiwan Chai, Superbon, Buakaw, Demetrius Johnson, all those people have lost at some point.
Yeah,
that's a recurring
You know what I mean?
thing on this show is like that everybody loses, and that's the real shit behind fighting is that it's the how are you going to handle a loss?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because everybody loses. You can be pissed, you can be happy, you can fucking, and the true character is displayed in those. And it's not even saying, you know, in a loss, it's in those hard times. Like you could, that's why the camaraderie in the gym, it's like, yo, I'm watching you struggle. I know you're dying right now because I've been there. I know you're dying. I've been there. You know I'm dying because you've been there. It's like, but we all know we could all quit at any one of those moments, and we are not going to let each other quit. Not in a negative way.
I will see you tomorrow.
I will see you tomorrow, and I'm going to be there for you, just like you're going to be there for me.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, people say like the combat stuff like that. I've never been in active combat, like war.
Oh, okay.
But our gym, like, we are training to be our best at our worst inside of a small window where our health is on the line. Our fucking brain is on the line. And don't make a fucking mistake. Your health is on the line. If you're passive about getting in there, you think that nothing's gonna happen. You going in there, you're like everything's fine. You can get your head taken off sooner or later.
This ain't no social time.
This ain't no social time.
This is a recreation. It's recreational practice if you want it to be, but if you want to compete, it's not recreation.
No, you can't be a passive competitor.
I said, yeah, because it's not recreation because one injury could put you out.
Right.
Right. And it's not like this is your family's business for people coming in and joining competition. If you get hurt and you don't see a benefit to being at the gym anymore, you're done. You know, if you
hit that limit.
There are some people who are, you know, they get hit in the head and they get mild symptoms of concussion.
I get them now.
You know,
who I never did before.
It's like, well, are you going to stop training?
No.
Or are you going to stop being in the space? And some people do.
Oh yeah.
Right. So it's not an easy community to be a part of.
Well, and that's not an easy line to cross. Once you're facing that fucking real question, you're looking yourself in the mirror like, bro, my brain hurts. Like legit. Like
I am stuttering.
I'm stuttering.
Over my words.
Yeah. So for me, my feet in the morning, like I can't. It takes about 10-15 minutes before I can walk normally. Like my feet hurt. I mean, scar tissue. Fuck, it is what it is. But in my opinion, all of these things are smaller prices to pay for what the sport has provided to me in value. Absolutely. And now I am able to pass that on to each and other generation. Because when we say it takes a village, if you truly believe that, you're trying to build your village up to the highest potential it could be, not in competition with everybody else, but because we can all do better. And it shows, I don't want to say it shows the character of the people that stay through these. Crew Jones, we talked about his knee injury. He could have quit. Any one of us could have quit. You know, I've had plenty of shit go wrong. I could have quit. I've had times where I've had a long-term hiatus due to certain things. I'm not going to get into what, but my mental destination was always get back to the gym.
Right.
And
you guys said something. A key component to this community is you train, you get to experience people in high and lows, right? And so a lot of times people come into our community because they're already low, right? I want to learn how to fight. I want to build my self-confidence. I want a community that cares about me. And so you get to experience people at their low, and in victory, you get to experience them at their high. You know,
and everywhere in between.
And everywhere in between. So
to find that character.
I always try to make it imperative that in our spaces, we understand that we have to take care of each other, right? And because it's easy to get your feelings hurt. It's easy to build relationships and then regret relationships, right? But the community is too small. Too small for you to ignore what's bringing you, fruition and happiness and fulfillment. So I like at our space that, that's always been a thing on the table. Like, all right, if the relationships go sour, we do our maintenance to fix it, right? I think that's going to be an attribute for Washington as we continue to grow in our professional athletes, in holding on to that integrity of community, that i.e., gym hoppers, or we all know that word, gym hoppers, but like, you train with these people when they were in the bottom. So you obviously have a care
pick them up, right? When they're at their worst.
And just because they're in a different location don't mean that they are removed from your care.
To your point, the saying that I have that matches that, because I like to take a quick saying and put it's the I always want to see people eat. It's just not always at my table.
Like the bar.
Boom, fucking write it down. But like we don't need to get into anybody because it's happened so many times. Anybody that's been in the sport for long term has seen the fallouts. They've seen the gym splits. They've seen this. They've seen people come and go and start up at new other gyms. They've seen, and that's why like Andrew is fighting on July 12th. He wasn't able to come to our gym anymore because he's out in Bremerton. And now he trains out in Bremerton under the South Sound moniker, which is good. They're a good gym. And when he told me that he was going to have to make this move, what I tell everybody, told ASAF the same thing. When you're considering leaving the gym, I love that you want to stay in the sport. I don't want to be like, oh, you're not with us, then you're against us. No, stay in the sport. Stay in the community. Build yourself up. Because we will cross paths again, and I don't want to.
We're going to have your back.
Every time. Every time. Sure. The only ones I can't say that about is the ones I've actively said and done certain things to place themselves at the opposition, create themselves an option.
Well, I think there's a difference between you know, like you've been training for a while, you want to start your own gym, or like, hey, it just doesn't work out financially or whatever. Like in Andrew's case, he just couldn't, it's too long of a drive, all that stuff, all that stuff, versus actively trying to poach and like take other like fighters from other athletes from other gyms, or like try and, you know, insert yourself or your new gym in another gym's place, right?
Yeah,
I think that's the difference.
That's a good way to break that down.
Yeah. Right.
And I think our systems are supposed to protect us from that, which we tend to do a lot with Irgens, because he's our gym in Washington.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody wants him to be a piece of their pie.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
You know,
if you could Master South here and tell me you wouldn't.
Yeah. Everybody wants him to be a piece of their pie, but he has a home already, and his home is with us.
And we insist, like, I always tell him I'm your bodyguard. Like, when there was it was like almost a year ago, there's like a blow up on social media a little bit of somebody that was an outside member of the community, and I about lost my shit. So that's where Crew Jones is like, if you're good, because I'm a little passionate. Like I said, my favorite color is green, but I bleed red. I bleed that passion, baby. Because you heard me yell, and you're like, yo, hey, fucking calm me down. Don't be that like professional. I'm like, you're right. You're right. I always make the joke about another Daniel Burtkamp guy, Darren's fight. When I was like yelling at him to get up and fight. Like, shh. It's like, they're fucking recording this. And I was like, like, sorry, I'm getting passionate. And then I had Pat on the other day, and he was just like, I get so used to people just yelling shit. I'm like, yeah, but I shouldn't yell that kind of stuff as a cornerman. And
holding yourself to a higher standard.
Well, and I yelled some shit on Anthony's fight when he fought Micah's dude. And so I hear Micah call. He's like, yeah, get ready to throw that teep. And I just in my head, I throw a less than technical in my eyes teep. So I was like, yeah, get ready to parry that shitty teep. And I was like, Zach, no.
You can say it better.
And they can say, well, and less disrespectful. Come on, I'm a coach.
Yeah.
And then I remember Micah not meeting me in the eye as we kind of came across, and I was like, fuck.
Oh, because he's a fellow coach, right?
I know, and I don't want to disrespect fellow coaches. I know he works his ass off. And that's where I found myself, and I was like, Zach, you need to do better. And then I always get I'm like, fucking Juan would smack you. I was like, knock that shit off, dude. Like, because you know me, I'm like, I'll be professional as fuck until I get pissed. So that passion comes out. Yeah. And when people attack my team, I get real fucking bodyguardish. That's why I say Master Side. Don't talk to Master Side.
Yeah. We take care of him.
Yeah, and it's anybody. It's anybody that like it's not today, but I wear these teams on my fucking back, on my chest, like Superman. You know, fucking not, but I rep that shit. Out in public.
We tell people like, hey, I was born in my gym.
Yeah, that was reborn in my gym. Yeah, just like I name all my businesses Sway City or Swayside. I'm like, people are like, you don't even fucking live in Spanish. It's the nickname. I got that shit tatted, Swayside. It comes with me fucking everywhere. Say something. Just like, you want to fucking come at me or somebody in the martial arts crew community, judging them from an outside point, like, consider the room. Read your room. Yeah. Like I always say, like, I ain't gonna ask for your manager. I'm gonna ask to see you outside. Like, I ain't gonna go Karen, I'm gonna go Tyson. But I got a little, that's just my little ego. When I'm feeling myself, feeling a little egotistical. But I don't ever bring that out inside of people I don't know. I'm just like, hey, respect, come check us out.
And we are competitors. We operate in a sport, but that don't always translate to the street. And, I came to the street and was like, well, I'm not doing Muay Thai in the street.
And I'm not bulletproof. Right. Like, ain't nobody trying to shoot me in the gym or stab me in the gym.
That's what they have a conceal for.
Yeah.
And me too. I'm out here. So, and again, and there's always that conversation, be like, oh, you do martial arts? Well, I got a gun. It's like, well, bro, kids can pull a trigger on a gun. That doesn't make you
Well, in your defense or your threat level, doesn't start with your threat capability.
What do you mean?
Your threat level doesn't start with your threat capability, meaning it's not just that you have a nuke, right? Anybody can have we all have capability.
Being capable of danger.
Right.
But having a restraint.
It is the personality that holds the capability.
Like the Kim Jong-un. He's like, I know everybody.
It's just like, you know, someone that has a knife, you see they have a knife, they're 50 feet away from you. You see their threat level, but they're not capable yet of...
They're not in that immediate danger, yeah.
When they get closer, their capability increases.
Threat level goes up.
Right, exactly. So it's just...
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, or in your discipline, your composure, and your competency. That's where your threat level starts with.
Yep.
Do you have any of those three? Probably not. But if you come train with us, you'll develop discipline, you'll develop competency, and what was my third one?
I don't know.
Something good. A lot of truth.
I usually operate in threes.
A lot of truth. Threes, number 3. I would say like any gym, you can develop that, but we're pretty good about developing that within our team. So if you want to join martial arts, we're pretty good, Jim.
And most Muay Thai organizations have those attributes in line.
Yeah, and I would say to anybody that does listen that's interested in getting into any of this, like, yes, come check us out. But there are other fucking gyms. Do what Adam said and do your diligence. Like, you're going to go buy a house just because it's a house? No, like, go buy a house that's going to fit you. You're going to buy a house that's going to be in your price range. Buy a car that's in your price range. Don't buy a fucking...
Go do some open house.
Yeah, go do an open session. You know?
Go visit.
Watch.
99% of gyms will do a guest pass.
Oh, yeah.
So
if they're not... Don't do it.
There.
Don't sign up. And even that, like, take a seat on the bench and just watch. Watch how the coaches coach. Watch how they talk to their students.
If they're yelling or they're not supportive of their students.
If it's a negative environment, you should be able to recognize that right off the bat.
Yeah.
You know,
there was a time where somebody came in the middle of one of my classes, and guess what we were doing?
Sparring.
Body conditioning.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, you picked the absolute best time to come through here.
Here's a quick point. Show up to your classes all the time. You want to show up and jump in? It might just be like, oh, somebody's jumping in. It's time for body conditioning. It's time for leg kick conditioning. You want to show up late? I love the ones that skip the warm-up. And they're like, oh, dude, I'm the convenience.
Just show
like, I'm like, all right, we're gonna fucking do calf raises or something. And then I watch them not be able to march after that for like 5 minutes. It's like, bitch, show up on time. I'm not talking about the people that are like, come up and be like, hey man, I literally get off work at 6. I can't be there right
It's the people stalling in their cars.
It's the people that you know. They're like, okay, I've seen you show up at 5:45 consistently. You're gonna show up consistently for my class right as the warm-up ends, 6:10. You know, like, okay.
And you knew. Yeah.
I know you knew. I've been in management, coach, fucking... Think about a coach. We've heard every fucking excuse. Management, every fucking excuse.
It's the same thing, like, you were a fighter and a student before you were a coach.
Yeah.
I had the excuses.
You did all that stuff, so you know when other people are doing it. You know what I mean?
I can tell progress pretty quick.
This is me slow wrapping my hands.
Oh yeah. I tell them to jump in.
I gotta use the restroom real quick.
So I'm like, you're good. I haven't wrapped my hands in years.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, it's been a good episode.
Solid.
Fun.
Love having you guys on.
Thanks for inviting us. I was waiting. I was like, man, I want to go.
Everyone else been on.
I want to be patient. But I want to go.
Well, I thought it was a good opportunity because after the fights, man, like, it was a good chance to. I mean, I want to keep having like our team on. I was telling Crew Jones, like, it's not just for having everybody else on. Like, we're gonna have the team on. I don't care if it's something. I don't even care if it's like a newer student. Like, you're gonna have your voice. You know what I mean? But yeah, any shout outs you guys want to give? Throw up your IGs, throw up sponsors, people
man.
show some love.
Hey,
check out this, that, and the third.
No, I don't have any.
Just no.
Shout out my girlfriend Emily.
There you go. Getting started. We're getting started.
Yeah. I don't have nobody. Just come visit us down in Vital.
Shout out Be More Muay Thai.
Oh yeah. And if you ever Be More is in your city, just come give him some rounds.
So I will say, like, I'm trying to show Juan some love. Like, I started the Sway City Muay Thai. It's subsidiary or whatever you want to call it of Team Street. That's Juan's version is Be More Muay Thai. So you see him out rocking his logo. I need his vector so we can get something going. This is just a friend of mine 3D printed some shit and I colored one of two.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I got the printout.
I know
so
you do.
I'm just sending it to you.
But yeah, a little bit of self promotion goes a long way, especially when it's hard to be recognized in a sport that we don't have a huge community.
I do plan on doing a seminar coming up here during the summertime, maybe like a little 2-day striking.
Is that
and
at the
clinch.
gym? That'd be so sick.
It will definitely be at our location.
I'm actually trying to talk with Kyle about putting together some sort of summer camp for like a week. Do like a kids version and then an adult version separate from class.
Yeah.
If you want to put something together and maybe have that lead up to your seminar or something like that.
Yeah.
Let's just chat, come together as a
on
staff. Well, and collab, we're a team. We're already collabed. You just need to talk at class. We are the team.
Righteous.
So, anything you guys want to say before we go? I love that.
Nah.
Thanks for
What's
having
that
us on.
Hey,
It was
this
fun.
is Ocean Jasmine. This is one of my family empowerment tools.
It's dope.
Yeah, so whenever I'm in a family function, I try to wear it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
This is family.
Yeah. I do want to say, I'm going to try, I don't know if I will make it this week, but I want to start trying to hit Asaph, your roommate. Still roommate?
Yeah.
He's doing the Tacoma Connect, so big shout out. He's doing the big thing out at Edison Square.
I love what Asaph has always been doing. He's fucking the sharpest cameraman that I've ever fucking met.
Solid dude. Love that guy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Asaph, Tacoma Connects, everybody that's
I think they've been doing it like what, 3 months now?
Something like that.
He's been hosting
every
events
other
over there at the
Wednesday.
Edison.
It's like second and fourth or first and third Wednesday.
Filling up Tacoma, stand up. Even outside Tacoma, people are coming there and just centralizing, sharing ideas. And
I got an idea. Let's get him up there and let's do a little pad session on stage with him. Me, you, him, something.
Yeah. Well, we've always been trying to do a self-defense seminar.
Yes, that'd be dope.
I was trying to do one outside of at a local park or something.
That'd be good.
Invite women, invite children. Make
it's kind of like an open thing.
Yep. If not, just hosting an instruction at the Edison. That's for self-defense though.
That would be sick.
But I like what you're talking about with a Muay Thai demonstration at Tacoma Connect. ASAP. The Muay Thai demonstration at the Tacoma Connect event.
Let's do it.
Let's make it happen.
Let's do it. You already know I've been there once, and you live with this guy. We can make it happen. A couple weeks to dial up a little program. We can fucking put that together. So. Anything else, gentlemen?
Nah, it was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure, sir. Thank you. That was a lot of fun.